everyone. So, as I am learning more about myself and growing and healing and evolving, I have been thinking so much more about this idea of mistakes and just their role in our lives and how they can hold us down and make us feel so hostage to our situations, and they creep in our minds and they make us hostage within our minds, and they paralyze our bodies, and they make it impossible for us to grow, for us to exist, and honestly for us to heal. And the truth about all of it is the mistakes are part of the process. You have to make mistakes in order to grow. You got to learn. In order to learn, you have to have it wrong in order to get it right. And even when you get it right, you're going to probably have to get it wrong 2 more times in order to get it right. It's a strengthening thing. Mistakes are meant to strengthen you. Think of mistakes of protein. Now, don't just go out overloading yourself on protein, but when protein presents itself, allow yourself to grow from it. Allow it to strengthen you. When we acknowledge that mistakes are part of our process, we can stop attaching our identity to them. I was a mean girl in college. I don't have to be a mean girl now. Even though they identified me as a disrespectful guy who didn't really care about anything and just wanted to hang out all night and didn't take life too seriously, as I grow and evolve, I don't have to identify myself to the things that they said that I was back then. I have a right to grow. I have a right to be better. There's a higher self that I'm getting to, that God has called me to. Now, my faith allows me to think about it, like that, in the way of God has called me to my higher self. Every day I wake up, I know that God is working on me. He expects me to do more. He expects me to grow more and be more. So knowing that I have a purpose every day, knowing that I'm going to be growing every day, I can detach myself from the mistakes because I know that the mistakes are going to get me to my growth. They're going to get me to my higher self. When I shed that off, when I shed the idea that I have to be my mistakes and all the mistakes I've ever made are who I am, when I let all those lies and BS go, because honestly, that's what it is. It's BS and lies, and it's trauma trying to tell you that the mistakes that you made, the mistakes your parents made, the mistakes all around you that have ever been attached to you are your identity, and that is not true. When we detach from that, we can heal. We can forgive ourselves. We can say, you know what? I can let that go because that's not me. That's old news. It's like an old address. If you still showing up in my old address, I don't know what to tell you. I'm on to the next thing. I'm somewhere. I'm moving up to the east side. You know what I mean? So we can let these things go, and we can allow ourselves to empty out all of that old furniture and let the new furniture in. Learn about your new self. Okay, you don't like the fact that you identify as this. You feel like this is who you are. Okay, allow yourself to let it go and add in something new. Well, I want to be this now. I identify with this now. I want to do this to show my story. I want people to see me as this. I want to see myself as this. This is a new venture that I want to try. You have the right, you have always had the right to take and be the master of your own story. So knowing that God loves us regardless, knowing that everything will work out because of who He is, knowing that our imperfections do not make our destiny, knowing that we belong to somebody who can literally part seas, who can make the blind see, who can resurrect the dead. He made the sun, the land, and literally everything in between. We can sit back and say, you know what? I don't have to identify to that. I don't have to keep holding on to that. I don't have to keep going back to that old address. I don't have to keep going back to the abandoned house. I'm done with the bandos. Put in the comments, we're done with the bandos. I'm done with the bandos. I'm not going back there. I can detach myself from that now. the condemning, the anxiety, worrying about what I think about myself all the time, worrying about if I'm doing this right, where I'm going, who I'm being with, worrying about if I'm thinking about things right, worrying about if I even know what I'm doing, worrying about what people think about me who don't even know themselves. Let's be quite honest. Worried about if you are going to live all those dreams you have within, quite literally setting yourself free and letting the man who can do anything take the power.